Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video I'm taking a look at the GT500 style rear spoiler in gloss black, fitting 2015 to 2023 Mustang Fastbacks. If you're looking to bring some track-inspired style and additional functionality to your S550, then you're in luck. This is perfect for the Mustang owner who wants that Shelby GT500 look, might do an occasional track day, but really just wants to look cool out on the street or at a car show. This is a great mod that has form and some additional function in one inexpensive package. Now, of course, it's obvious where this spoiler gets its styling inspiration from, the Shelby GT500. Of course, it's right there in the name. So if you're like me and you just can't stomach the price of a GT500, but you want that look, this is gonna be a way to get it. Even if you've already got a spoiler on your car, this one is just gonna step things up a notch with the extended edges and more aggressive styling. It's wide, it's angular, and it really looks the part, especially given how the 5.0 yowls when you get in it. And it comes finished right out of the box in this really nice high gloss black, which, especially if you're going for an all black look on your car, is gonna look great. And aside from the aesthetic benefit, spoilers, especially one as large as this, have some aerodynamic benefit as well. It can add some extra downforce at really high speeds, so if you're gonna be hitting the track often, then this might just be what you need to get a little bit of additional high speed stability. Now, that's not gonna say it's gonna glue your Mustang to the road, especially at 55 miles an hour on a freeway, but you do get a little bit of extra functionality with your style here, and some more assistance with airflow is never a bad thing. Construction here is all ABS plastic, and as you can see, it comes right out of the box, finished in this really nice glossy black. So it's strong, it's lightweight, and it should be able to withstand the elements. Plus, that gloss black means that, of course, it's gonna look great on pretty much any color of car. It gives you some contrast if you've got a brighter colored car, or it brings more of that stealthy, blacked out look if you're going in that direction. Pricing is going to come in at about $225, and that does make it one of the less expensive spoilers out there on the market. Now, you can bet that this is going to be cheaper than getting a GT500 spoiler directly from Ford as well, so if you want that look without having to spend a fortune, this is going to be a great option for you. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and you can expect the job to take you about 2 hours to complete. Now, some drilling is going to be required, especially if your Mustang didn't have a spoiler to begin with. However, good news on that front, you've got all the bolts you need included, and you've got templates for this as well, which have double-sided tape on them. So you can get these set exactly where you want them and then just drill through accordingly. And this is a pretty straightforward process to complete. And to show you how to get it done now, let's throw things over to one of our AM customers.
All right, so right here we got our screwdriver to screw in the bolts that they gave us with the kit. Right here we got our 10mm socket to unscrew everything with the extender. Right here we have this interior removal kit tool that we use to take off all the little latches. We have these two that we use for our makeshift guard posts. We have the Gugon that we used. We also use WD-40, which I'd recommend. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Braden, and today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to install a GT500 spoiler on your Mustang GT. All right everyone, so the first step is getting off this stock spoiler right here. So how you're gonna do that, you're gonna open your trunk, and you're gonna go to these little push pins right here. There's about 12 of them, so just pop them off. They come off fairly easy. All right, and then the next step is unscrewing these right here. So super easy, they come right out. All right, just like so. All right, and then for this last piece, you're just gonna go ahead and get this. You can just pop it right off like so. And then that will release this. And go ahead and turn that. And go ahead and just leave it right in your trunk. What I like to do is I like to put all the pieces right there just so you don't lose them, keep them in your trunk. And then yeah, just like that. All right, so then the next step is gonna be taking off these little rubber things right here, and they just peel right out. And obviously just throw them right in your trunk like that. There's gonna be one on each side, so just peel both of them off. All right, so the next step in getting off your spoiler is gonna be getting off all of these little bolts right here. So basically this is what you're gonna need your extender for in your 10mm socket. So you're basically just gonna connect that to that obviously and loosen it. But don't take it off all the way like this, you're gonna wanna loosen it to a certain point, and then you're gonna wanna tilt your trunk down and then fully take it off like that. So the bolt drops into it, because you don't want it to fall into your trunk or else it'll make a noise whenever you're taking it off. And then these bolts right here are super simple. You'll just loosen them to where you can take them off with your hands, and then, you know, obviously unscrew with your hands so it doesn't fall into your trunk. All right, so basically once you have this bolt super loose to where you can basically take it off with your fingers, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna push your trunk down like this. I like to get on a knee so I can see it, and obviously just fully take it off, but be super careful. All right, so same thing for the other side. Just loosen it to where it gets, where you can take it off with your fingers. Boom, just like that. All right, and then for these, it's super easy. You don't even need an extender. You can just put your 10 millimeter in and get these super loose. Just get it to the point where you can take it off with your finger, and it makes it way easier so you don't have to worry about it like falling in the trunk or anything. And yeah, just like that. And obviously we'll do that for the other side right here. Right. Comes right off like so. Alrighty, and that's everything. All right, so now that you have all your bolts off, you guys are gonna want to get your interior removal tool, and I like to put a towel around it just so it protects my paint. Basically what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna go right under the spoiler, pop it out, and the bolt will pop out just like so, as you guys can see, like that. You can see all the adhesive right here. So basically you're just gonna wanna follow that with your hands, or you can use this tool as well. Just wanna go under there, slowly peel all of it off. Another helpful tip I like to do is, so I'll get this side loose right here, and then I'll go ahead and get the other side loose right here, and then I'll peel it off from the middle. Just because if you go across, it has bolts in the middle, so it can make it a little bit more difficult. So I can come from this side, just do that. You guys can see, you need to use a little bit of force, but for the most part, it comes right off. It's not too bad. Once you guys kind of have it like this, you just peel off. It's off like that. So the next step in this install is cleaning off all of this adhesive right here. As you can see, there's a lot of it. We live in Arizona, so it gets really hot, and the adhesive, like, you know, it'll melt to your car or whatever, stick on there. So what I like to do is I like to get some water. I like to just spray it on the towel real quick, you know, get it wet. So we do that. And then basically, I just like to wipe down the surface just so I know what is actually adhesive and what's just dirt, you know what I mean? So I'll clean this off like so. All right, so basically what I like to do is I like to get my Goo Gone right here, and then, you know, I'll just spray it over all across the adhesive like this. So just for example, that. And just make sure that it stays basically on the adhesive. You don't want it to get on your paint. Get all of the adhesive like so. And if it starts leaking, just get your towel and just clean it up like so. Don't let it drip everywhere. And then just let it sit for around like 10-15 minutes. And then you'll go and scrub it and it should all come off. Here it's super sticky and annoying to get off, but what we found is that if you just get WD-40 and spray it on and then rub it in with your finger, it'll like break down the layers, and you just kind of want to keep doing this until you get all of it off, and then you just want to scrub it down with the towel like so. All right, so now once you have all your adhesive removed and stuff like that, we're gonna put the new adhesive onto your new GT500 spoiler. So with the kit, it'll come with these three right here. So you will take the back off and then stick it onto the wings. So let's get to unwrapping. This is how your spoiler will look. It's pretty clean. It's nice. So flip it over like this. This big piece, this is for the middle right here. So obviously before you do it, you're just going to line it up and make sure it, you know, fit. All right. Just peel this off like so. Push these through, just like that. Flip it around. And line it up with the holes like so. Just make sure it's like that. And boom. And then try and just smooth it out, get all the bubbles out and stuff like that so it sticks the best. Alright, and then now onto the sides. So we're gonna start with this one right here. Same process, you just remove that. Oh wait, this is actually for this side. So we're gonna go over here. Line it up with that first hole, second hole. Just like that, smooth it out. Just like so. All right, now onto the last side, same process. Like I said, make sure it's smooth, you don't want any bubbles. Boom, just like that. So once you guys have got all that sticky adhesive off, you guys are just gonna wanna get some alcohol. Ours is 70%, that works fine. Just spray it all over this little rag right here, and then just give it one final wipe down. It gets any leftover adhesive that you guys missed off, and it just, you know, makes the surface look super clean before you guys are putting your new wing on. So basically what we did is we made makeshift guard posts to hold the wing in place when you're lining it up, along with the masking tape. So basically, it'll sit in the middle right there, and you'll put it in the middle right there, and cut the end of the bolt so it lines it up perfectly, so you're not worrying about it not being center, etc. So for this part, you're gonna need a few people. You're gonna need to line it up with your holes, and then push the guide pin through and peel all the adhesive off.
Drag your hole in. Ready to this hole right here? Yep, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
So now what you guys are gonna need to do is get some pliers and unscrew these makeshift guard posts like he's doing right here. As you can see, he's slowly doing that because you don't want it to fall in. Just get it to the point where you can get it with your fingers. So now the last step in this, once you guys have it all lined up, you guys are gonna get your screws. Just do it with your hand at first just to get it in there, like that. Then you guys will obviously get your screwdriver. You guys are just gonna tighten them down. You don't have to do it too tight, just do it so it's on there so it doesn't go flying off on the road. And then you'll just do the same thing for the other side. So you got it like that, screwdriver, just like that.
Just tighten up where it's not flying off the road.
Want to line it up on your screwdriver and then just basically finesse it in that little hole right there. Just got to line it up perfectly.
Really want to make sure it's not.
Yeah, you just cannot drop the bolts in there. And boom, just like that. All your bolts are on, the wing is secured. And then the last step is just going to be putting back your interior trim right here. So lastly, you're just going to want to line this up and screw in these metal pieces. They screw in just like that. Then you're gonna get all of the little push pins right here. Just line it up with the holes like that. You go right back in. And you get these little rubber caps right here. Push it right back in there. Do that for both sides. And then you'll get this last piece right here. Just clamp it right back on. Go like that. Pull this through. Tighten these down so it's flush. And that's everything.
That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install of the GT500 style rear spoiler in gloss black, fitting 2015 to 2023 Mustang Fastbacks. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, for all things Mustang, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.